All right. We're diving into why turning off the news might be the most productive thing you do this year, baby. Yeah. That's why you're on the most positive show on the internet. Mornings at 11 with Keith and Friends. I'm your host, Keith Bilous. Over there's Jon Andersen, the big man. Yes, I turned the news off. Listen, I still consume it to give myself knowledge for the show, but I largely turned it off. We're talking about it today. Yes, baby. We're also going to tackle the great fitness showdown with some guy who lifted a few heavy things up and put them down before. Is it heavy weights or is it high reps? What actually builds muscle? Yep, coming up later in the show, we got John Espitia, cancer survivor, CMO, whose story of resilience and reinvention will light a fire under your ass in the best way possible. Good morning, good time. And in Morning Focus, we're going to reveal how YouTube can become a lead-generating machine and no ad spend required. We got a guest coming up for that one as well. And if you thought whole milk was dead, woo, baby, we're talking about it with Jorie Janssen. Jorie Janssen's coming in here today because apparently, Johnny, whole milk might be making a comeback. So we're talking whole milk here today in the lab and a bunch of other things. Big show coming up here today. Listen, standard reminders, guys, before we jump in, smash the like button, hit subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the chat. We actually read them. We do. Yeah, we do. Unless you're a bot. If you're a bot, sometimes they throw you off to the side. And listen, just another reminder. Good time. Adam Holroyd, just a reminder. What's the reminder? R-rated experience. So if you got to, this is like, what's the show, Johnny? It's just like, Quest for Fire. Yeah, so it's an R-rated show. So if you got the little kids around, take them to the movie, you'll introduce them to some sex education. And hey, don't hit the snooze button. You will be 9 minutes behind the guy who doesn't hit the snooze button. And of course, we're here to get you full accountability check-ins. Jimmy, let's bring in the boys. Let's bring in the boys over here on Jimmy and Marty. What's going on, brothers? What's happening today?
What's going on, baby?
Yeah. How are you guys? What's shaking?
It's another beautiful day in the loop, baby.
I had a fun conversation yesterday, Marty, with a fella, and he's like, "Yeah, I was about to join your guys' show, and then I tuned in, and I was gonna ghost you guys, but I decided to show up. But I logged in, and I see this big fella. I go, yeah, because yeah, he's crushing a cigar first thing in the morning. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what time is it where he was at? I go, probably just after 5. He's like, dude. I go, I know. So yeah, he says, I didn't know what kind of impression I should have. I says, the right one. He goes, yes, it was the right one. I knew I stepped into the right room. I saw you guys doing those crazy things. What's going on?
Terry said something about that too. She's like, you know, Keith and Marty know you, but these people that come on and they don't know you and they see you smoking a fat cigar at 5 a.m.
Yes.
What is it that you think these people think? And I was like, honestly, I wasn't really too worried about what people think. I'm just doing what I do. Yeah. What I do kind of leads the way. It's just smoking a cigar at 5 a.m. fits right into everything else. When I say I do what most people won't do.
There you go. What's going on, Christopher Martin? What's shaking today, my brother?
What's up, man? Just another day, man. We happy to be here. And I was going to say, Johnny, doesn't your shirt say F the haters or something like that?
No, this is actually not my shirt. This is one of my buddy's shirts.
No, I'm saying the one that you wear. It says does it say F the haters?
Oh no, dude, I would never make a fucking shirt to why would I put energy? I mean, I have fun telling them.
F average. You're right.
Yeah, it says fuck average, fuck excuses.
Okay.
If I was gonna make a shirt about them, I would make sure that it benefited. So I say, hey haters, keep pumping my algorithm, please. Something like that.
There we go.
I wouldn't say fuck. I wouldn't say fuck to haters because now who's getting upper hand?
Well,
you're right.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. Yes. Yeah. Hey, listen, I did something last night I've never done before. I went for ramen.
For what?
Ramen.
Oh, like a restaurant. Like at a restaurant.
You ate the fucking the noodle package?
Yeah,
oodles and noodles.
Not the 76-cent noodle package, Johnny, you buy in the grocery store. No, I went and ate the $76 package of ramen out of the bowl in a restaurant. Yeah, I'd never been for ramen before, but Brookie had the desire to go for ramen. So Lauren and I surprised her and took her for ramen. And I don't know what kind of impression I have. So first of all, I'm not
Hold on. Real quick. Brooke wanted ramen and she's 9 years old?
Yes.
And I'm 32. I've still never gone out for ramen.
She's been on me and Lauren about going for ramen. So Lauren texted me. She's like, why don't we surprise her? So we took her for ramen. And Johnny, Marty, I don't know how much. So I liked it, but I don't know how much I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you why. I'm not a guy who just enjoys a big bowl of noodles.
Well, if we're diving into this, where the fuck did the name ramen come from? It sounds like a fucking cheap. I think ramen is just like a way to say a cheap bowl or cheap noodles or something in a different language.
So. Yeah, it was ramen. Good morning, Amy Reiner. Good to see you in the comments. Yeah, I had chicken ramen. So it's essentially I don't know, overpriced broth with some noodles and chicken in it. And they shared.
Was there actual chicken in there, or was it just the fucking flavor? Because those motherfuckers have got the best hustle in terms of, they charge whatever they charge in that. Those noodles cost fucking fractions of pennies, and they pull a broth in there, and they call it. There we go, baby.
There was actually chicken in Johnny. So I like to order whenever I go to a restaurant. I like to order extra chicken because I never think anybody gives me enough chicken. So I'm always ordering the extra chicken. Good morning, love. Good to see you in the comments there. We are Mornings Live with Keith Friends, myself, John Andersen, C. Marty Fit. We're talking ramen. Uncle Keith crushed some ramen last night, and there was actual chicken. So what they did, boys, they actually cut the chicken breasts in slices. So I had sliced breast in my ramen. But here's the thing: once I crushed the breast, I was like, all I had left was noodles, and I found myself hungry about 2 hours later. Yeah, true story. So there you go. There's my ramen experience. Not sure if I'm going to go back and do it again.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really you were just along for the ride with with your daughter. So
that's right. Speaking of stories, I knew this guy who, out of the blue, would just drop random stories. So he'd walk up to you, Marty, and you haven't seen him in a long time. He'd be talking about life. You walk up to you and say, "Yeah, so I had steak last night," and you're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." And that was it.
Was he like kind of one of those socially difficult people?
It was weird. He'd walk up to you and just drop something yeah, Marty. So I was driving down the road and there was a stop sign.
That's what I mean. Was he psyched? This sounds to me like when someone walks up to me and says, "Do you work out?"
Yeah.
No,
not at all. No, not at all.
But it's a conversation starter. That's what I'm saying. Was he socially awkward? Was him putting he has to get in the game somehow.
Yeah, I guess so. Something like that. This is pretty funny, man. Do I like cheeseburgers, guacamole? I love cheeseburgers. My wife makes some of the best cheeseburgers. She makes these smash burgers now. Oh my God, just some spices and some ground beef and crush them up, throw them in the frying pan, fry them up, and bun or bunless. They're so good. And I would say probably very much endorsed by John and Terry Anderson, because I've watched their videos enough on Instagram, Marty, of them crushing beef. I'm thinking I gotta try that myself. But I love cheeseburgers, man. Holy smokes, I love cheeseburgers. Love them. Yeah.
I'm cool with the burgers. I'm not crazy about them, but I just wanted to backtrack on what we just talked about the guys saying random stuff. That's how the old guys are at the gym. It's crazy, bro.
I guarantee that right there. Guarantee with you, brother. The old dude just wanting to talk to the young buck. He's just trying to find something. Want to open it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll be walking by. I might say good morning. They'll be like, "Yeah, man, me and my wife cleaned the attic." Thanks, bro.
Good morning, Kate Kennedy. I see you there in the comments. Thanks for joining Mornings Live with Keith Friends. I'm Keith Bilous. That's John Andersen, C. Marty Ford, and Kevin Jones, his wife. Don't think so. He is a gay. No, not gay, actually. Pretty proud heterosexual who absolutely loves and admires his wife. True story. Don't mind anybody who's gay, but I absolutely love my wife.
Hold on, real quick. Why? And if it's supposed to be accepted nowadays, why is that always an insult? You know what I mean?
It's so true, right?
I just don't understand that.
Yeah, why do people think
why is that an insult if it's supposed to be accepted nowadays?
That's funny, man. That's ridiculous.
What side are we on?
Yeah, I know kidding. Hey, do you guys chew gum? Do both you guys chew gum? Are you a gum chewer, Marty?
Hell John? Yeah.
I actually used to be. But the problem that I had was literally I stopped chewing gum for this very reason. I was that guy that I would put 2-3 pieces in my fucking mouth, right? So it'd be a big old fucking wad, right? Yeah. And as I'm chewing that shit, it was actually pushing my fucking gums. It was receding my gums because there was too much.
Really?
They're like, yeah, your gums are receding, and how are you brushing your teeth? So we're fucking getting me different toothbrushes. I mean, the good news is it got me one of those really cool electric toothbrushes that cleans me really well. But we realized it wasn't the way I was brushing; it was fucking chewing gum of all things.
Wow.
Because it was happening mostly over here, which is where I would keep the gum most of the time.
Yeah. Did you know that gum has been around for over 10,000 years? Today, I got some surprising journey of chewing gum from ancient tree sap to pop culture rebellion and what it says about us as humans. Now, guys, this simple habit has shaped oral hygiene, wartime culture, teenage identity, and even global commerce. And what we chew and why reveals how society evolves and what we value. Guys, ancient roots, like back in the olden days, like back when Johnny was born, Marty, chewing substances like birch bark. They're chewing birch bark. And then modern boom back in the 1840s, they were chewing things like spruce gum, which brought brands out like Juicy Fruit and Dentine and beech nut. And then in the 1950s,
beech nuts that's actually chewing tobacco, not gum.
Well, so and beech nut was a brand, and maybe they went to tobacco, Johnny. But then in the 50s,
oh no shit,
we went from trees to plastic. In the 1950s, companies ditched natural chicle like chewing wood for the substance for gum. They went to synthetic polymers. Remember how we were talking Vaseline last week? Well, shit, man. They're using gum. They're using polymers, like essentially plastics, to make gum. That was in the 50s. And then and now today, a single stick of gum today can release hundreds of microplastics. Even natural gums aren't always safe. Studies also connect gum chewing to increased phthalate exposure. And so I found it quite fascinating that this habit that we went from chewing bark to chewing plastic to now chewing what the hell we're chewing. But dude, it's might not.
I got a cute gum chewing story, right? So, youngest daughter, right? She's just getting to that age where she's seeing because of course the middle daughter's chewing gum, of course, and they love gum,
Yes.
So the little one's like, she wants to try, so we give her a piece. We say, look, you got to just keep chewing, don't swallow. Well, when you're chewing a piece of gum, it gets soft to the point where your subconscious senses, okay, it's time to swallow. So it took us probably, I want to say, months to teach her not to swallow gum, because it was like, it just got to that point where she wouldn't pay attention, just fucking swallow it down.
Really?
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, we've all swallowed gum.
And
she's, the youngest one, she's like this fucking wicked smart. But then if you got some major, if you're really good over here, you might be missing a little something over here. And at that point in time, she was kind of missing that, like being present with the stupid dumb shit in her life, like not swallowing gum. And she could read. She could read it like a fucking 9th grade level of 3rd fucking grade, but couldn't remember not to swallow the gum. It was so cute.
We got Ryan Palmer joining us here in a few minutes. Here, guys. We have somebody here who's guys, a marketing expert who binge watches marketing psychology instead of Netflix. Yeah, coming up in a couple of minutes, we got Ryan Palmer. Today's guest does exactly that. And he's about to share how engineering, psychology, and creativity build brands that the competitors dread. Guys, we're going from gum. We got Jorie Janssen coming in here at the protein break. We're talking milk again. Marty, are you a milk drinker? Johnny, you a milk drinker?
I used to be.
Used to be, eh? Yeah, well, apparently whole milk is making a comeback.
Well, if you can get real whole milk from like a real organic animal, very different. But the problem is with in America, at least.
Yes.
Most of the cattle is raised in such a way where there's just fucking so much toxicity in that animal. And like, don't quote me on this, but I believe the average gallon of milk, what's processed through what we're talking about, the levels of estrogen are fucking sky high.
No kidding.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's been a while since I looked into it, but that was one of the things. Once I started really looking into, okay, what food has got this hidden shit, I was blown away. But now, real organic whole milk, dude, there's some fucking properties in that are like off the charts helpful.
I used to drink milk straight out of the udder. Just fucking grab it out of the teat and put it into the cup and go into the fridge and just go into the house and drink it. Yes, Marty. That's
okay. You sure you weren't locking some lips on that little teeth?
I wouldn't be surprised with Keith.
I'm getting shit from Jimmy, boys. He's like, gotta do the accountability check. Gotta do the Hey, boys, Johnny, Marty, listen. Jimmy's got some soul life expectancy work coming up here in the next few weeks. His wife's heading out of town, so we got to take care of our brother Jimmy. We got to keep our eye on Jimmy. He might be pressing the wrong buttons, boys, in the next couple of weeks because he might be Johnny. He might be doing some androgynous work. You never know. All right, so there's a weight I've carried that no one saw, and it wasn't burnout. It wasn't failure. Jimmy. It was unlived potential, the kind that creeps in late at night. Yes, Jimmy, just get after left hand, right hand, left hand. Just do it back and forth, see what happens. Oh, man, what if I went all in? What if I stopped playing small? What if I didn't quit on myself? Listen, guys, I felt that pull, and I've ignored it. I've ignored it from time to time as well. And because I didn't care. No, not because I didn't care, but because staying where you are is easier. Just think about it. Just stick around. It's easy. Until it isn't. Yeah. And here's what I learned. Mistakes, exhaustion, and pain, they fade. Regret, oh baby, it sticks. You don't want to have regret. No. High performers, they don't chase comfort. We chase what's just past the line of comfortable. We push not because it's easy, not because settling feels worth. It's about grinding 247. It's about the hard decisions, playing it safe or raising the bar, staying smaller, taking the leap, standing in or breaking through, because mediocrity, guys, isn't harmless. It's a slow bleed. When you wake up today, do you want to be mediocre? You don't want to be mediocre. No. Good morning, Jay. What's shaking, brother? The pain of trying is real, but the pain of what if I did this? What if I didn't do that? It's going to hit you harder. So I invite you today, show up, go hard, and leave nothing on the table. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Johnny, you might succeed. Oh, so run towards the failure. Run towards the fear. Watch what happens. Here's the invitation. What are you going to choose? Yeah. What are you going to choose? What are you going to choose? All right. Let's do it, Jimmy. We have the founder of Palmer Creative Co., an agency known for turning overlooked businesses into market powerhouses with a background blending engineering and psychology. This guy's obsessed with creating brands that aren't just pretty, they actually sell. Yeah, we are going to dive into how he ditched his day job, tripled the income, secretly born into the lab with Keith and friends, is ridiculously excited to introduce you to Ryan Palmer. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, guys?
There he is. What's shaking, brother?
What's Ryan?
Jacked up there.
What's up, brother?
I like that M&M poster behind you.
Johnny, you there?
Froze. I'm here, baby. He's froze.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
there we go. I just
back now.
The host had a pause there for a second. There we go. The host had a pause. Ryan, what's shaking this morning, brother? How are you today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Marion, Illinois, way down south in Illinois, about 5 hours from Chicago. So every time I say Illinois, everyone assumes Chicago, but I'm about as far down south as you can get from it.
Oh, you're the home of the Blackhawks, the former Stanley Cup champions. You're now talking to the host of the future Stanley Cup champions, Winnipeg Jets over here. Winnipeg. Yeah. There you go. So Ryan, what's shaking it? So Ryan, we like to get our questions. We like to get our guests going with one warm-up question. The most important question you're going to be asked all day today, and is this: what's your morning routine?
My morning routine, I pretty much just get up, make some coffee, take a shower, and then just get to work.
Yeah, and tell us about work. What's work for you?
Oh, really? Yes. Right now, I kind of work from. I don't know if you can tell. I got like a little home studio. I do music and stuff too. So I like produce music and stuff. But so it's like my office too. And I just kind of check my emails and do a lot of outreach. Just messaging people that I think I could help out. And I do a lot of if I have any like projects going on at the moment, I'll try to crush those first. But yeah, just kind of turn on some AC/DC and get to work.
AC/DC, crushing it first thing in the morning. You're on Central Time Zone with us. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about your profession, and you're in the branding industry. And what's one branding disaster that you watched, you witnessed, that you encountered that taught you a priceless lesson in your journey through work?
I think a lot of it's just kind of being clear with your message. I feel like a lot of people try too hard to, you know, sound too corporate and sound too boring. And it's like, if you're talking like that, you just sound like everyone else.
Yes.
And it's important to stand out, you know, even if you have, you know, not the most exciting product or service, like it's important to have a personality.
Absolutely.
I like that term blurry, brother.
Yes.
You know, because it's like sometimes when you say the other way, say, look, you need to have a clear message. Sometimes it's hard for people to understand, well, what is the clear message? You think the other side, if you're blurry, okay, let's get the shit out that makes my message not clear. Sometimes hearing it that way, like that resonated with me. That word blurry, good shit.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, you strike me as somebody who doesn't blend in. And, you know, when I found your profile on LinkedIn, I said, hey, why don't you be on my show? You look like somebody that, you know, you swim against the grain. I mean, as a compliment, because the three guys on this show certainly do not, you know, go with the stream. If someone's listening right now who wants to stop blending in, what's the first actionable step you would advise that they should take today?
I would say, you know, just kind of just like stop caring what people think. I'd say just kind of, you know, everyone has their personality. A lot of people are kind of too scared to just kind of, you know, break out and do what they actually want to do. And I just think, you know, life's too short to not just be yourself.
Let's go. That's what it's all about, brother. Once you stop fucking worrying about what other people think, life becomes your playground.
Yeah. Especially like whenever you're in like school and stuff, it's harder, but you know, especially now whenever I'm it's like, okay, I was worried back then for no reason. I don't even talk to those people anymore. So like, who cares?
How did you overcome that? Or how did you realize that, Ryan, during your journey? You know,
I think I've always been a little, you know, I've always been outgoing and stuff. And it's just like, I used to always be, you know, I was like the straight A kid and like, you know, top 10 rank and stuff, always dressed nice and stuff. And it's like, at the end of the day, it was like, I just kind of felt like I wasn't being myself all the time. I was kind of, you know, always trying to be that perfect guy. And I'm like, that's not who I am. So I'm just going to, you know, kind of just do what I want because I can still be the best version of myself while being myself. So.
But was there a moment though? Like, was there something that happened to you, or were you in a situation, or was there something that you were like, oh man, this is not worth me being who I really am not? Like what drove you in that direction?
I think there's a lot of things that I've kind of been through in my life. Whenever I was a kid, I actually had cancer. And that was kind of a big thing for me is I don't really remember it that much because I was like 18 months old. I had cancer in both of my eyes. And so, thankfully I have perfect vision in both eyes. So I don't even have to wear glasses. But I think that was really a big thing for me is like, you know, just that whole experience. I kind of, you know, realized early on how short life is. And it's like, you know, it's too short to, you know, not go after what you want to do and not be who you are.
Dude, I've never even heard of cancer in the eyes. What was the?
Yeah, me too. It's my first time hearing that.
It's called retinoblastoma, and it was really weird because it's kind of hard to, you know, like find out you have it, and it was just by chance. There's like one of the main ways you can kind of tell is like in like a red or like in like photographs that have like a red eyes. There was one eye that has a yellow eye instead of red. And apparently that's like a big thing of how to tell. And my mom took a picture of me. It happened to see the one of my eyes were like bright yellow and took it to the eye doctor. And turns out we caught it soon enough. And I mean, I went through chemo and all that, but yeah, thankfully I'm all good.
Wow.
Dude, what a fucking amazing story, brother.
No kidding.
I mean, how many, Jesus Christ, to overlook, you know, like, oh, well, it's just yellow because it was a double exposure. Remember double exposures and all the fucking weirdo shit? It would have been so easy to dismiss that. So fucking really hats off to your mom for
shout out my mom
by the horn. Fuck yeah, dude.
Ryan, there's many that talk about we're coming upon an era where we're going to have our first solopreneur billionaire with AI tools and tools that allow us to do many things that other humans would surround ourselves with a team. And I'm wondering if myself and Johnny and Marty are looking at one of them. You've run Palmer Creative Co. entirely solo, and you still, based on my research and what I've seen, you still outperform full teams. Is your secret coffee? Is it adrenaline, or is it just a complete disregard for sleep, or is it putting the middle finger up to everybody else, or was it beating cancer and saying fuck the world, I'm going to go and beat everybody as a solopreneur? Like, what's your secret to success, Ryan?
I think the main thing is, so I was actually an engineering major. I was in industrial manufacturing and applied engineering. And I mean, it was cool, but it just wasn't something I wanted to do as a career, kind of too boring. So I didn't, but I feel like the biggest thing I kind of learned there was, you know, optimization and like efficiency. And then so after I got out, I also had a minor in advertising, and I was working at a local agency, and I mean, it was fun. I learned a lot there. Like I didn't ever think I was going to be doing web design and everything I do now, but it's kind of just like, you know, I got to a point where I knew all the skills, and I kind of felt like, you know, working with a team was almost taking like more time than it would be if I was just doing everything myself. Cause it's kind of, you know, you're handing off stuff, and sometimes the visions aren't the same and the goals aren't there. But whenever, you know, it's just me, it's like I can, you know, see the end goal and see, like, I know the steps it takes to get there. And I feel like it kind of just cuts a lot of the nonsense that doesn't really need to be there, and kind of, you know, gets to the end goal quicker.
Your LinkedIn bio mentions binge watching.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I used to, you know, like watching YouTube and stuff. I don't really enjoy just like, you know, sitting around watching TV. I just always love learning. And I feel like, you know, I've always been into like psychology and stuff. So I kind of feel like, you know, what I do now is kind of where all my passions kind of align. Like even when I was a kid, I was huge into magic and stuff. And I feel like, you know, that's kind of, you know, you're getting into someone's mind and learning how they think. And now, you know, I used to be in art. I still paint and stuff sometimes. So I'm a big artist too. I feel like just all those things kind of combine and just kind of leads me to, you know, this is exactly where I should be doing, you know?
So you're a binge learner.
Yep.
Not a binge watcher.
Yep.
Okay.
Would you say, Ryan, that psychology is the center of much of what you stand for? And what I mean by that is the center of your decisions, the center of your universe start with what's up here and your understanding of what's up here and how you perceive people, how you perceive your decisions, and how you, like, you're always looking at it from a psychological perspective. Would that be a fair assessment of mine, Ryan?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I just think it's kind of, you know, it might be a little weird, but I just think it's kind of cool that, you know, that there's, you know, ways you can learn about how people think to kind of, you know, it might be a little manipulative if you use it the wrong way. But I mean, I like, you know, being able to kind of, you know, tell what someone's going to think or say before they think it, and, you know, kind of just, you know, have that idea, because it just kind of feels, you know, it's cool. It's like a magic trick.
Well, that's what makes me curious, because you're in the marketing, in the business industry. Like, where do you see psychology playing its role, and use the word manipulating? When you talk with customers and they're looking to grow their business, how much does psychology weave itself into business and marketing?
I think it's one of the biggest things, but it's just like not very talked about, because, you know, at the end of the day, everybody, like, you don't buy products, you don't buy services, you buy what the products and the services, you know, do for you, and what, like, you buy the person they turn you into almost, you know? So no one's like, you want to buy something like, you know, no one's going to buy like an acne cream because they just want an acne cream. They're going to buy it because they want the clear face that's going to turn out with it, you know? So it's, you always got to figure out, you know, what actually makes people want to buy something, and not just try to sell them and push them the product, you know?
I thought Johnny was going to say something there. I find this intriguing, because John and I were having a coffee over the weekend. We were talking about psychology of things, and John likes to simplify things, and he came at it. It was reminding me, you know, just about humans, right? And sometimes I think we as marketers overthink so many things, when ultimately it's just coming down to what's the simple psychological button that's making somebody react, right?
Yep.
That's what I like to lean into. Like John and I were talking about this idea of challenges. People fucking love to do challenges. Well, we hate challenges. I hate challenges. Johnny hates challenges more, because challenges.
But it was a 90-day challenge. We like challenges in our lives. We just don't like to say, oh, let's do a 90-day, because that's the challenge should go for the rest of your fucking life, not 90 days.
Yes.
Last week I was actually going to try to do a 5-day fast, but I gave up on day 3.
Okay, good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that though. So A, what made you think about doing it? And B, why did you give up on day 3?
I was, so I've always done like intermittent fasting. So probably for like close to 10 years now, I've just been doing intermittent fasting. I've always, there's actually like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Connor Murphy, a fitness guy on YouTube. A few years ago, he did a 30-day fast, and he did it all on YouTube live stream. And it was really cool, but it was weird, because he had like a camera set up everywhere to make sure he wasn't, you know, cheating or anything. But so he had all 30 days all live streamed. And at the end of the day, like at the end of the fast, he had watermelon, you know, to kind of, you know, bring his body back into it slowly. But the way he described how watermelon tasted, that was one of the big things. Is I was like, I want to see how long I can go just to see what fruit tastes like. So it tasted good. It tasted good after the 3 days. And I got to the point, it was like a Friday night, and I'm like, I'll get a pizza. Why not?
Yeah, that's so, like, after a bodybuilding competition, you had such a strict little, your menu so narrow, right? So like when I would get done, I could like give myself just a little something to eat that wasn't really off plan, just outside that thing. And I could stretch it out for fucking weeks, because that having that one thing would be so fucking amazing. If I slid off the edge and ate a bunch of things that I wanted, now all of a sudden I lost that. Oh my God, that like having something extra in my coffee. Fuck, that was so amazing.
And it's also like about like willpower and stuff. It's so fun to like, because like I said, I've been doing intermittent fasting for a long time, but like sometimes I feel like, I'm not as like strict on it as I should be. But then whenever I do something like that, it just reminds me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good still. Like I got it.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Listen, why don't we do this? Let's do the fit tip with Marty, and then Ryan, you want to stick around for a few minutes with us? Sure. I want to talk about. I stopped reading the news. I want to talk with you guys and get some feedback on your guys' perspectives of the news and so forth. Ryan, your perspective on it. But Marty, let's do the fit tip, brother, and then let's keep the chat going. Then Marty, you got to rock and roll for this?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, let's do it.
Yep. All right, let's get it, man. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. This one is overlooked. You got to drink your water. You got to stay hydrated. A lot of people, you got the gym membership, you got the trainer, you're working out, you got the meal preps, changing your eating, but you have not increased your water intake. Why do you need to increase your water intake? All right, first thing, is going to boost your performance, right? When you're hydrated, you're going to be able to lift heavier. You're going to have better endurance in your cardio, and it's just a no-brainer. What else do we need water for? It's going to help you lose fat. It's going to help you flush those toxins out, right? And it's also going to aid in your muscle recovery. If you're going hard in the gym, you're going to be sore, right? Muscles going to feel tired sometimes. Staying hydrated is going to help that soreness, or prevent that soreness, I should say. It's going to help you bounce back and be able to get to that next workout, because you had a great workout today. We got to do it again tomorrow. We got to do it again next week. Whether you go to the gym 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days, 5 days, whatever you do, water is essential. Staying hydrated is essential. Do what you need to do. Carry a gallon of water around, like myself sometimes, which I have been slacking on. Actually, I'm still getting my water in, but do whatever you got to do to get that water intake in, and watch you hit those goals. That's the fitness tip for today.
See Marty, Christopher Martin, just going to step out of here off to the big gym here today. Marty, you enjoy your day, brother. Always love having you around here and hanging out with you, and love your point of view. You enjoy it, brother?
Absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Definitely, man.
That was a good tip too, because whenever I was on the fast, that was one of the reasons that I was afraid I wasn't drinking enough water. So
yeah, I'm glad Marty said what he said, and I'm glad that he said I got to remind myself. So Marty, and now that I know that you've been off your water, brother, I'm going to be thinking about you getting back on your water.
Stay on me, man.
And hey, Marty, before you go, brother, I ran some ads last night and this morning on our show. Look at our fucking show, man. It's blowing up. We got 1,500 people tuning in right now.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. I've been running ads. I started running some ads last night on the live show. We got 1,500 people right now tuning into the show right now.
Fist bump, man.
Yeah, there you go. 14, 15. I knew you were leaving at the bottom of the hour, so I thought I'd dial it up. So Marty's going to get out of here, Jimmy, so we can dial it. All right, hey, we got some comments coming here I want to address here in the feed here. We got Darren coming up here, and he says, bro, I fasted for 13 days in prison. On day 9, I cheated and I ate 3 saltine crackers. The rest of the time, I only drank water. By the end of the thing, when I cooked a ramen noodle, Johnny, it smelled like a steak dinner, and my stomach shrank so much I could only eat half of that noodle. It's crazy how much you crave shit you shouldn't have when you're trying to stay on top of your macros. I can totally relate. That's Darren. And Darren, John and I talk about all the time about living a life in prison, how we probably could survive pretty well with the structure because of how structured we are in our regular life. And then Darren comes back and says, yeah, having some water. Good morning, Benzie. I see you there in the comments. Good to have you there. And good to see you, Sergio from Brazil as well. All right, we're going to get into some deep dive here. Johnny, comments on the fasting conversation before we get into our news discussion.
Yeah, I guess my main question, brother, what was the purpose behind the fast? Was it because some people will do it because they're trying to lose body fat. Yeah. I know my position is fasting has to be some sort of mental, spiritual, discipline related type activity, or I don't believe in it.
Yeah, I think the main things that the reasons I was doing it last week is mainly because I am trying to cut for the summer, and I feel like sometimes I'm on and off. So I figured, a 3-day fast will kind of set me up to, kind of stay more strict from here on out until summer, at least until I cut down to where I'm at or where I want to be. And then another reason, just because, like I said earlier, it's kind of fun just to kind of test myself and see what I can do. And it feels so good afterwards to be like, all right, I did that. And then also, last week being tax week and stuff, I was trying to work real hard. Whenever I'm, fasted, I feel like I have a lot more energy. So sometimes it's like, why waste time eating dinner when I can just keep on working a few extra hours? So
well, check this out, brother. If when you're fasting, you have more energy, and not this is a blanket statement, so it's not always true, but in many cases, it's because the food that you're eating when you're not fasting is not conducive to giving your body the energy you want. So when all that shit clears out, the toxicity, because our food is so fucking toxic, once that gets out of there, then the body starts to react differently. So think about really eating in a way like think single ingredient foods. I bet you if you start only eating single ingredient foods, then the difference between your fast and non-fast, the energy probably won't be drastically different.
I was on a steak and egg diet for a while, like last year, and it felt so great. I love that. Just eating steak and eggs. The only problem with it now is I'm living with my girlfriend, and I'm not sure if she'd be down to eat the same thing every night.
It's funny, man. That's funny, Johnny. I've always been curious. I'm glad you said what you said, because when Ryan said he gained more energy by not eating, what that's telling you is that while he was eating, he's not getting the right energy. That is exactly what it's telling you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a thing almost like this, if you're putting the wrong fuel in some sort of machine, you're going to wonder why it's fucking popping and farting and not performing.
Yes.
Right? So then the difference between a machine is you got fuel, it runs or it doesn't. With our bodies, we have fucking fuel wrapped all around us, because most of us are, even myself, we all have fat reserves.
Yeah.
And the body can burn into those fat reserves in many cases and get more clarity and better energy than fucking you put a fast energy versus Big Mac energy, you're going to be much better off with the fast energy.
One thing for me too is whenever I do eat, whenever I fast all day and then eat dinner, it's kind of like a reward for me. So it's like I don't want to eat until I get all my stuff done, and then whenever I do eat, that's the time I can kind of watch TV or do whatever. And then, once I start eating too, it's almost like a floodgate, because since I don't eat all day, I'll eat like 2 or 3 meals at night just to feel satisfied before bed. But so then it's like once I start, it's like I don't want to stop. So if I just push that first meal back as far as I can, I'm not even thinking about food, and it's not even distracting me or anything,
Yeah.
No, so you definitely do have the discipline weaved in there. That's good shit, brother, because obviously it's a challenge. But in terms of what you're describing of once you start, it's hard to stop. It's because you got to have your exit plan.
Yeah,
you got to decide ahead of time. Say, hey, when this is over, this is what I'm going to eat because it's the right amount. When we give it, keep in mind the body's been starved all day, so it's going fucking feed me. Even if one meal is not going to, in many cases, won't satisfy the body to stop that signal. So you got to kind of decide ahead. I'm going to eat this, and this, but most importantly, brother, that shit has got to be nutritious food. Because the body wants nutrients. It doesn't just want calories. A calorie you could have calories from a Big Mac, or you could have calories from steak and eggs, as you know how good you felt with steak and eggs. So just remember, when you break that planet, make sure it's highly, highly nutrient dense.
Yeah. I always, I probably don't focus on my macros as much as I should, but I always try to make sure my protein and my calories hit, because I feel like whenever those do, the carbs and the fats kind of work themselves out. But I always, as long as I'm getting my protein, I feel like, I don't ever feel like, terrible, but I definitely just feel like I have more energy whenever I'm just kind of empty stomach, not thinking about food. I don't even know if it's necessarily because I'm faster or just because I'm not even thinking about it.
It's interesting to hear your comments, Johnny, but when you eat the good food, there's times when I've been eating some bad foods for a few days, or just not eating as good as I should be, when my body starts telling me or giving me the signals that it sits and wants to eat some good, whole, nutritious food. You know what I'm talking about, John or Ryan, when your body tells it sometimes, when it's like you've been maybe through the holiday season or you're out of routine, and it's just like saying, no, just sit down and give me some vegetables, give me some potatoes, give me some meat, and just not greased in sauces or crap. Just give me some good nutrient food. And I like bringing that up from time to time, because it's a good reminder of how good we can feel when we're eating really good quality food.
When you guys were talking about milk earlier before I hopped on, it was funny because me and my girlfriend were just talking the other day. I was joking around about how we should get a cow for the backyard. We could get the meat, the We can get the milk whenever we need it. Just go out there whenever we need it.
That's
Get
it.
a couple of chickens alongside that, and you're all good, my brother.
Get a couple of goats and you're off to the races. Darren, you're right. You got the old Uncle Keith here's from Canada, and Darren came back with a comment saying it was very much motivated by discipline, also the fact that it's hard to eat good in prison. Everything you can purchase is loaded with preservatives. One pouch of chili that's pre-made is 103% of your daily value of saturated fat. The serving size from a ramen noodle is actually a half a block. So I avoided white rice like the plague and tried to mainly stick to eating lots of lean stuff like tuna. And the state recommended calorie intake 1,600 calories a day. There you go, Darren. And what he's saying is absolutely true. Darren, you got the comments coming through, but I'm appreciative of all the comments you got dropping in here. The most important meal of the day is not breakfast. That was a marketing play from Kellogg's. You can't trust. That's a good one, Darren. No, we do not subscribe to the Kellogg's marketing rules of society. That's not what we get.
I love marketing, but I hate breakfast. So I don't know how to feel about it.
Oh yeah, isn't that true? That's what. It's funny because marketing does a fun thing with breakfast for us, eh?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I love cereal and I always eat it every day, but not in the morning. It's always my last meal before bed. I always leave enough calories and enough room for a bowl of cereal, and that's always my end meal, and it always satisfies me. It's the best.
So funny. So Ryan, I got some rapid fire for you. Some questions for you. Some rapid fire questions. Right. Design or copywriting?
Oh, that's a tough one. I've been designing longer. I'm probably equally good at both, but I love writing. So
yeah. ChatGPT or Claude?
For writing, Claude. For code and stuff, ChatGPT.
Best late night snack for creative breakthroughs?
Cereal.
Oh, there you go. Yes. So you're not about cereal for breakfast, you're for cereal for the evening.
My question is, what kind of creativity are you looking for in a bowl of fucking Lucky Charms is what I want to know.
It is. And is that cannabis before the cereal or after the cereal?
Is the what?
Is that cannabis before the cereal or after the cereal to spark the old creativity in the brain?
I feel like that just kind of sets you up for a good night's sleep. Big old bowl of milk.
That's it. One brand that Ryan Palmer secretly envies.
Mumble rap music.
Oh, mumble rap music invented by the eminent Eminem, who's like, what the fuck is rumble rap, right?
I love that poster behind you. I don't know if you heard me earlier. You were cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually from the concert in New York City there years ago when I saw him and Jay-Z and the whole gang at Yankee Stadium. But I got to tell you, Palmer, I'm looking at Eminem differently now because he's a grandpa. So yeah. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around some of the old tunes that I grew up with and listening to the lyrics and still appreciating them the same way, because I'm like, I don't know if you're still Slim Shady anymore in my head, right? I might need some space from that so I can realign my brain with Slim Shady again.
Honestly, if it wasn't for Eminem, I feel like Eminem's honestly a big reason that I do like writing and stuff is like I do, because there's all the wordplay and all the fun, that's a huge that was a huge thing for me, like back in junior high.
So fucking clever, dude.
Yes, yeah.
What imagine all the dad jokes he has too.
Yes, yes. What are you writing? 30, 32?
Huh? I'm actually only 23.
23. Okay. Good for you. Well, so, dude, your maturity, and I mean this as a compliment. I thought you come across as somebody who brings much more experience to the planet. So good on you, man. I didn't mean to be offensive on your age.
Thank you.
You come across as very mature. LinkedIn or Instagram?
Instagram, but I don't know. I used to hate LinkedIn. I posted a few posts about this too. I used to hate LinkedIn just because it's always so boring and corporate most of the time. But at the same time, that's what makes I realized that's kind of where you can stand out, because everyone else is being so boring. Just be a little bit different, and you're gonna get some good connections and a good good views started. So I feel like I have had a lot more luck with LinkedIn lately, but as an actual app, I got to go with Instagram.
Well, I'll tell you. So Johnny and Keith are having success on LinkedIn because we are different.
Yep.
Like, we are not like most of the people that are posting on LinkedIn. So you see John's content, you're like, oh, all right. Yeah, I see that guy. He's about habits, about positive energy, making positive decisions. And you see Keith doing his thing on LinkedIn. It's like, oh, okay, we're a little bit different there, right? So
all those posts that are like excited to announce my new position. And
no, it's not 70 anymore. Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Engineering textbooks or marketing blogs?
Wait, what was the first one?
Engineering textbooks or marketing blogs?
Marketing blogs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then lastly but not leastly, is if you had to write a brutally honest billboard ad about Ryan Palmieri's journey, what would it say?
I made you look.
Oh, yeah. Is that your hook? I made you look.
I was actually brainstorming some ideas for some billboards the other day, and I thought that was a cool one. And I was actually had an idea with that whole cancer thing.
Yeah,
big old eyeball with like a yellowy thing, like that photo was, and just look at and then just have Palmer Creative Co. I made you look.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Ryan, as we wrap up with you today, brother, what do you got going on today? Where can folks connect with Ryan Palmer? How can they find you? How can they hire you? Here's a couple minutes for you to get out there and promote yourself to our audience, Ryan.
So I'm on everything most of the time. My username is just I'm Ryan Palmer. I think on LinkedIn, if you just type in Ryan Palmer or Palmer Creative Co., you can find me. And then my website's just palmercreative.co. You can contact me on there, or my email is ryan@palmercreative.co. Yeah, you can find me on anything. Yeah, pretty much on Instagram and everything else. I'm just I'm Ryan Palmer. So just if you want to work with me or anything, just send me an email or even a text. My phone number is online everywhere too. So, and today I'm just kind of I think I'm actually having a call in a second with some dude who does something with football cards. I'm not sure what exactly the project's going to be, but hopefully something cool's going to go through there.
Nice. How are folks finding you, Ryan, to hire you? Is it generally through LinkedIn, or how are they getting hold of you?
So lately I've been getting a lot more emails and stuff on my website, but yeah, I've been having a lot of good conversations in the Instagram and LinkedIn DMs, and just a few things locally too, just from Facebook and stuff, people asking around for marketing guys, and people recommending me. So just a lot of different kind of ways, but yeah, just I feel like a lot of the more fun stuff's been through LinkedIn lately. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, listen, I appreciate you joining me and John and Marty here this morning. Your first Mornings in the Lab experience. I came knocking on your door, said, hey, I saw your content. I liked your vibe, and I thought you'd have some fun with us this morning. Was your first Mornings in the Lab experience as good as you expected it was going to be? And I got to think, I'm hoping you did a little bit of research before you came on the show today.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And this is fun. I love it. This is, I've done a little, I've done like one other little podcast kind of thing, but I mean, this is fun. A little different vibe. Get the morning started.
A little different vibe. And listen, we're all about bringing positive energy and a positive vibe with some positive inspiration to help guys get their ass out of bed and get going after it. Hey, before I say goodbye, are you a snoozer? Do you hit snooze button in the morning?
I used to do that a lot more, but my girlfriend works at like 6 a.m. and so I've been trying to get up right when she does, because I'm like, I don't have any reason to stay in the bed anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little stat, brother. If you hit that snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind the guy who doesn't. Yep. If you do it all year, you're 2.5 days behind the guy who doesn't. So I invite you to get your ass out of bed, get after it, and keep crushing it, Ryan.
Honestly, one thing I've been wanting to do at some point in my life, you ever heard of the Da Vinci sleep schedule?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, Leonardo da Vinci, supposedly, he would take 20-minute naps every 3 hours. And so then at the end of the day, instead of 8-hour, sleeping, I think he saved I can't remember what the exact stat was, but he saved like 20 days per year.
Wow.
It was crazy. I'm like, so you're just, being as efficient as possible and, not wasting any time asleep. I'm like, that sounds cool. If I can do that, I'll try it someday.
I'll tell you what, here's an invite. When you crush that Da Vinci sleep schedule, you come back and tell Keith and Johnny all about it.
Hell yeah.
All right, Ryan. Ryan's going to get out of here. Ryan, I appreciate you, man. I look forward to grabbing some coffee with you later today. I think we're on the calendar for a little quick coffee catch-up later today, so I look forward to talking to you later. Jon Andersen's got a lifestyle tip, and then we got Jorie Janssen coming in. We're talking milk. Milk. Whole milk's making a comeback, apparently. Johnny, let's get after it, brother.
All right. If you have an issue with sugar cravings, I've got the answer for you. The good news is the answer is actually better than you think. See, what happens with a sugar craving is because your blood sugar has dropped. Once your blood sugar drops, your brain says, I need sugar. And it's like an emergency signal. It's very, very difficult to overcome. So once you get to that point, usually it's a battle you're going to lose. Now, what's the answer? What's the solution to this problem? You're going to love this. Eating more. Now, I'm not talking about eating more shitty food. I'm talking about eating more good, healthy foods. What this is going to do, and I'm not talking eating more in a sitting. I'm talking eating more regularly throughout the day, because that stabilizes your blood sugar. When your blood sugar is stable, you're going to have more energy. You're going to burn more body fat. You're going to have more focus. You'll sleep better. And it'll be very easy for you to walk past the donut shop and just smell it and say, boy, that smells good, and keep on going, rather than smell it and go, God damn it, I got to have one of those. So if you're fighting with sugar cravings, now you know your answer is to eat more frequently throughout the day. And literally a day, maybe two, you will see the difference. So that being said, you've got your answer. You don't need to be a victim of your sugar cravings anymore. That's all I got. Rock and roll.
Johnny, I've been focusing on leaving sugar aside a lot lately, and I feel damn good about it. I don't add sugar to anything I eat, but sometimes there's sugar in the things that I do eat. But for the most part, I try to stay as far away from it as possible. What's going on, Jorie Janssen? We're here to talk milk today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So apparently, whole milk, once canceled for being too fatty, is maybe making a serious comeback. But Jorie, is this creamy classic actually good for you? Today, I want to get into it and dive deep into the real science behind whole milk, its benefits, its risks, and whether it deserves a place back in your fridge. And this conversation might be able to change how you approach dairy, weight management, and even brain health. But Jorie, let's talk about milk generally. So, man, society has had a journey with milk. Hey, there's whole, there's skim, there's 1%. Now we live in a world where there's oat, there's almond, there's all kinds of milk we all can drink, it seems, these days.
There are all kinds, and I think it's because we as humans are all kinds.
Yeah. Interesting you say that. So in many ways, that would we think that's a positive thing for society now we have so many choices? I remember when I worked in the dairy back growing up as a young man in the grocery store, there was one dairy aisle. There's that's it. Your milk was there. There was no oat milk over there. There was no almond milk over there. And the whole fat,
very true.
Right? And the whole
milk.
Yeah, and the whole fat milk was like this. I remember watching over my years how the shelf went from, diminishing whole milk to less 2% to the 1% skim. It was like society changes, right? Where it's like, okay, we all got to drink skim milk now. But Jorie, why is there this discussion around whole milk again?
I mean, in my world, it's always been a discussion. So, so it's not new. However, I think that it's still great for discussion. It's because people have been told one story their entire lives.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they realize that there's more options and there might be reasons to switch things up for some people. And so being able to have those options and then the opportunity to switch things up based on what maybe you're changing your lifestyle, or you're not tolerating something the way you used to tolerate something, whatever it is, there's more diversity and choice, and that can be confusing, but also liberating depending on what you know and who you are.
So I'm going to role play with both you guys. Jorie, I'm going to start with you. I'm coming down to sit down and talk to you as a nutritionist. Yeah. My first question is going to be, Jorie, I keep hearing that milk is bad for me. Dairy milk is bad for me. I shouldn't drink milk from a cow. Is that true, or is that a myth?
And my response would be, what have you heard? So I can respond.
So I heard. This is great. Let's play this out because I wonder sometimes, is it a societal thing? Is it, my mom said milk is not good, right? But yet, I turn the news on, I hear people talking about that. It's funny, Adam Horwitz saying I haven't had milk in forever, and I can't say I miss it either. Yet, and you talk about it, Jorie, in your industry, that people come to with these questions. But is dairy milk good for us?
Yeah, yes and no. It depends on who you are. There are people that have allergies.
I love that
there
answer.
Are people that might not have the allergy to the protein in milk, but they might have an intolerance to the lactose, the milk sugar. So if allergy or intolerance is there, Absolutely. Let's manage this. We have options. If it's social media and you have some amazing social media popular person on there sending trends, that is different than changing up just because you want to, or just because costs of certain things, allergies and tolerances. That's different. When someone is coming across with a strong opinion, that's their opinion, but it's not necessarily evidence-based. So if we're looking at the evidence-based, what's the research showing us? And it doesn't mean that what someone is thinking today won't be proven tomorrow. But if we look at the today evidence, the evidence supports that dairy can absolutely be part of a healthy lifestyle. Whole milk can be part of a healthy lifestyle for many people, not everyone, but for many. And the reason for that is that it has a lot of nutrients. It has the high fat content that allows you to maintain and absorb nutrients such as the fat soluble vitamins that are found in dairy, vitamins A, D, E, and K. Yeah. Those are fat soluble, meaning you need fat to be able to absorb them. So some fat or full fat in dairy milk gives you that fat content. You could, though, go with skim milk and bring in other fats into your meal or snack, like avocado, walnuts, right? So you can do different things to add quality heart healthy fats into your diet. Some people have to watch saturated fat. So maybe it's from other sources, animal sources, that you're going to limit the amount of fat and have full fat dairy. Others might choose to lower the fat content in your dairy. You might then limit the amount of fat soluble vitamins there, but you'll get that from somewhere else.
I love how polarizing of milk is.
It's like religion.
It is. It absolutely is. I'm looking at some of the comments here, and you can talk to anybody on the planet, and somebody.
Well, that's like the first thing that we ingest as human beings.
I know. Yeah. And then Johnny, you add Kellogg's to it in the morning, which is, hey, have your milk with your cereal. So you think about it, right? How society, especially the three of us here, how our generation grew up, right? Crushed Kellogg's in a box with dairy milk, period. There was no debate growing up, right? There was no go have some almond milk with your fucking avocado toast. It was like, no, go and have some Kellogg's Captain Crunch or Rice Krispies and put some fucking milk in it and call it a day. That's basically what it was.
But here's the thing: if you go back far enough, if you follow the timeline back, just like many other foods, is that the quality of milk is getting more and more poor. And so the issue is if we had a really good, organic quality milk, a lot of the issues would be eliminated. Now we have fewer problems fewer questions to ask for the user, so to speak. Well, and you can say that with beef, you could say that with chicken. All of our food, the quality has gone down. And so with people just crushing milk, not understanding that they're dealing with lots of shit in there that used to not be in there with their kids, that a lot of times presents the problem.
Well, it's funny you said, John, because we got a comment from our community here today, which is Captain Sum says, vegetation sprayed with Roundup, which is an estrogen precursor, and we wonder why guys are growing sausage tits, females with man guts and gender issues. So, and Captain is associating all that with some of the pesticides that we're throwing on all of our foods. But George, staying on milk. So again, what I'm hearing you say is it depends on what's good for me as a human. The common theme we talk here, right? So, so Keith, you might want to drink dairy milk. It might be good for your body. Just because some social media post says it's good or bad, that might not be the right answer for you. You need to figure it out yourself. That's what you're saying, right?
Absolutely. Some people eat pork, some people don't, right?
I mean, a social media post should just be that thing that gets you to start investigating. Does it work for you? It's not this fucking oh my God, this guy says milk is good. You start crushing milk. Maybe you've got one of the allergens that Jorie talked about, or maybe you're just buying really shitty milk. Who knows? But a social media post is a blanket post for all of you listening. It's a great way to spark your interest to start to investigate. Because like when you ask us these questions, we always come back with questions. We never give you an answer.
I know, which I love it, because that's what conversation is all about. I'm a big fan of that. So then why, Jorie, maybe an opinion question for you then, your personal opinion.
Okay.
Is the influx of all the alternative milks, the oats, the almonds, the non-dairy type milks, was that, do you think, as a response to people's choices of wanting something different, or is it really laced in all the legitimate potential health benefits in these alternative milks? Is my question making sense? Because is it?
I think so. I will say that I do think it's both.
Okay.
Which then eventually over time comes into marketing and business and whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But if we go back, like we have people that are vegans, right?
Yes.
So they need an option. And we have soy, and soy milk's been around a long time. Then people were scared of man boobs, and we've proven that that's not the case. And men actually need estrogen. So soy is actually good for men.
Yes.
But everything, it has to be balanced. That's why we say variety is key.
The
more variety you allow into your meal plan and your daily living, the better off you're going to be. The more limiting you are, likely you're going to be missing something or overdoing something. So balance is really key, and balance to the individual for sure. But the oat milks and the almond milks, back in the day, they were really calcium carbohydrate fluids, right? Which is still good. You're getting calcium. They add vitamin D in there just like they do for dairy milk. But there wasn't the protein content. So that side got smarter, and now they're making sure that they're higher protein options, anywhere from usually there was about a gram of protein per cup, and a lot of them are still like that, so you have to read. And now that there's going to be some that are 8 to 9 grams, like Ripple milk is a pea-based milk, and it's 8 grams per cup, right? And then then dairy and other options have gone, well, let's increase the protein even more, so now we get 14, 20, 30 grams per cup.
Yes.
Right? It's just heat filtered. So it's really, some of it is marketing. People also have to remember that just because something is high protein doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yes. So let me ask you guys. So John, what do you consume milk, Johnny? Is it dairy, or do you do oat? Or
I was a massive milk consumer when I was young, and I have a deep love for milk. But dairy milk just doesn't work for me.
It doesn't for your gut, for your body at all.
Yeah, no? I don't digest it. I mean, granted, keep in mind, if I had access to like regular access to real whole organic milk, it might. I don't know, but I don't have that. So anyway, the what I do to satisfy that fat boy inside me who wants his milk, is coconut milk.
Okay.
And then I put a little bit of, like, I do videos where I'll take a glass of coconut milk, put some ice in there, a little splash of cold brew coffee, Starbucks cold brew coffee, a pump of well, I can't say a pump for me. I'm the fat little boy in me wants a few pumps of the sugar-free salted caramel syrup. And now I've got this, I can do so much with that coconut milk because I can make a coffee out of it, or if I just feel like I need some milk. And usually when I'm having milk, in my mind, it equates something sweet. Why? Because I was a fat little fucker using milk, eating cookies. So milk has a sweet association in my mind.
Yes, that's how you associate the two.
Yeah,
that's really.
So you're not gonna like the other day. I went to I was taking what was I? I was taking some pills. I can't remember what I was taking. It was anyway. Anyway, a pill doesn't matter. But I went to it got stuck. So I was like, shit, I need something else to drink. So I went to the fridge and opened up some coconut milk, took a swig right out of the bottle, obviously unsweetened. And I was like, oof, that doesn't cover my milk craving by any means.
It's funny because your milk association is all emotional for you. The association of eating the sweetness, right?
Dude, food in general has massive associations for me. Now the key is to manage them. I mean, for any of you guys listening that have food issues, you're talking to you looking at me now, you might know that, but I am a straight up sugar addict. And you never really, as an addict, you never get rid of it. You just manage it. And so food is definitely one of those that has all sorts of crazy associations for me. Yes.
Jory's your house. You guys a dairy milk house, or are you an almond milk house, oat milk house? What do you guys?
I am typically dairy milk, but I will include other options. But I grew up on it. I love it.
What allergy?
And I love what John said. It's what are you associating it with?
Yes,
and that's what the research shows. It's you can have full fat, you can have low fat, you can have oat milk. What does your complete lifestyle look like?
Yes.
That's the key. So it's not one food that we want to demonize.
Yes.
And for someone, it might be a no-go for a variety of reasons, and that's okay.
Yes.
And just like certain exercises are no-goes for some people, that's okay. There's other options, right? And so I think it's really what works for you. Let's sit through what is flashy to sell in the moment versus what's true, and just make it work for you.
What about your daughter? What does she choose?
She loves milk. In particular, she likes the high protein options. It's the texture, the flavor. She likes those ones. And so luckily we're, household income of 2 and we have 1 kid. So it's not an issue for us. But for some people, the cost of things like that is a lot. So it's not for everyone. It's what we are able to do and enjoy. So there's both of those. And we feel it's part of our healthy meal plan.
On that level, let me just jump in really quick. You're so correct, Jorie. A lot of this stuff is, some of this healthier food is expensive. But if you look at your life and you get rid of the shit that you're eating, which is also expensive, a fucking Big Mac is not cheap anymore. No. You get all the junk out because you're eating a Big Mac. It's costing you some pretty good cake, but it's not really adding to the value of what you're trying to give your body. So if you eliminate the junk and you invest that in the good whole foods, you're not going to be crying broke.
Yeah, true.
A Big Mac could cost you almost $10, Johnny, in Canada. It's like 7 or 8 bucks. Like you get your Big Mac with a double Big Mac, so it gets close to like 8 or 9. I'll just round up almost $10.
Dude, I can't even remember the last time I looked at a fucking McDonald's menu.
Well, dude, my bowl of ramen, Jorie, we took Brookie for ramen last night. My bowl of ramen was $17. Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
That's like the noodles.
Dude, that's what I was saying about those restaurants. That's like one of the best profit margin. If you're going to have a restaurant, get a fucking ramen bar.
Yeah. Not going back. No, it was good, but it's not going back. One last thing before we wrap the segment up and we say goodbye to Jorie. We always keep her extra here. And Jorie, you get some great comments here from Darren. Jorie's a very pleasant woman and pretty too. I love when someone has a sunny disposition. And that's always the comments to get about Jorie Janssen. We love her sunny disposition. It's always, you bring such positive energy to our show, Jorie. I got to tell you, man, I just love it.
Well, but that's good. I'm very human though. Not always sunny. I will admit.
And it's all, I'm telling you, Jorie, it's all rooted in that smile.
It lights up the whole show here. Jorie, I got to ask you, because I know we're all the same age on this show. Pure business question. Are you not fascinated like I am about how the business of milk has changed over the last 20 years? Where, like I said, how I started the conversation, where when we grew up, there was no such thing as oat milk or almond milk, all these choices. Now you go to a grocery store and there's a whole other section of milk that's not even in the dairy. And from the business side, it has fascinated me. And Jorie, as a nutritionist, it must just fascinate you as well.
Grocery store tours take so much longer now. It's like, okay, so we've got the milk over here, but we're also going to go down these 2 aisles because we've got the health organic side, and then we've got the other side where they're just placing whatever. Like grocery store tours are not like go around the perimeter of the store anymore, right?
Yes,
you actually have to go and look.
Interesting
around.
point of view to make there. Yeah, that's so true. Guys, and this is the best way to wrap this up, I think, because Scott Benzie says it best, and I think this is actually the best comment. Buying whole foods is expensive, but recovering from a stroke is more expensive in every way.
Yeah.
Dude, you're with the food you're eating, you're investing in your fucking health, because you're going to pay. You're either going to pay for taking care of yourself now, or you're going to pay for not taking care of yourself later. But when you're paying for not taking care of yourself later, you are not living a good quality of life.
Yeah. What a great conversation. And I learned here today that we can't talk religion in the world. We can't talk politics in the world. And apparently we can't talk milk, because it is a hot point for every human being. And Johnny, I say it to you all the time, this segment brings everybody out, because food affects everyone, and everybody has an opinion on what they're eating, what you're being told to eat, not told to eat, what some social media post told you, or what your mom told you 30 years ago that she still thinks today. Keith, are you having your Rice Krispies with your milk? No, Mom, it's not 1978 anymore, riding in the back of the station wagon with cigarette smoke in the car, right? So right? It's funny, because I was talking with Lauren last night. She's like, hey, Brooke, you can sit in the front seat right now. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, but I don't think it's safe. And I was thinking, yeah, that's fair. It's probably fair. But then I'm thinking to myself, Well, but back when I grew up with Johnny and Jorie, we were all riding around in the back of the station wagon, rolling around with cigarettes, smoking, no seatbelt. So I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the seatbelt was like not even in all fucking cars at that point.
Johnny, how many times did you ride in the back of the pickup truck going through California with your brothers, just hopping around in the back of the pickup, in the bed of the pickup truck, right? Like I can't tell how many times I did, almost flying out of the back of the pickup truck down the gravel roads of Saskatchewan, right? So, all right, Jorie, I appreciate you. What do you got on the agenda today, kid?
More work.
That's good. Work pays the bills.
It's good. But then tomorrow it's all-day dance competition, and then all weekend it's provincials for volleyball.
Right? Oh, good for you. That's a lot of fun. You get to do some mom stuff, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. All right, Jorie, listen, we're going to walk you out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks so much, you
Thank
guys.
you, Jorie.
See you Friday.
All right. You betcha. We'll see you later, Jorie. Take care. All right, Johnny, we're going to reset, and then when we come back, let's talk heavy lifting and let's talk volume lifting for some. Well, we're going to create some conversation around is it reps or is it volume? I'm sorry, is it heavyweight or is it volume? So why don't you take a quick little break? We'll come back. We'll get into that, right?
And you just got to bump me at 6:30 so I can stay right to the end. Just get me out sharp at 6:30.
Sounds good, brother. Okay, you take a quick break. I got some comments to get to. We'll come back and resume, brother.
Let's go.
All right, John is going to step out for a quick minute, guys. You got Keith Bilous here, Jon Andersen. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Hello to all of you guys joining us here this morning. I see all you guys in the streams. Keith and Jimmy were playing with some YouTube ads last night, and apparently they're working because people are showing up. So I appreciate all of you guys, the 2,000 of you guys viewing us right now, or however many of you guys popped in to hang out with us here today. But I'm looking at some comments here. Amy Reinhardt. Yes, Jorie is sunshine. She is a wonderful asset to the team here. I love the conversation that Jorie always brings. And like I said, it's funny, right? We all have an opinion on religion. We all have an opinion on politics. We all have a religion on our favorite sports team. Well, we all have an opinion on milk, right? So and it's funny because it even links to our coffee. Is it creamer? Is it milk? Is it oat milk? Is it coconut milk? But everybody has an opinion on milk. But looking at some of the comments here, Scott Benzie, I used to sell milk at the corner of our street. It's funny, Scotty, because the corner store was the epitome of the milk store, right? That's where you got your milk. Jorie is sunshine. I agree. Darren Haggerty. Darren, I see all your comments, man. I can't get to all of them, but I see them all there. So appreciative of your comments and your engagement. I hope you've subscribed. I hope you'll come back. This is a morning show for men. We get after it every single day here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our purpose is to help you guys get up and get going. Our purpose is to help you get up and not hit the snooze button. Our purpose is to help you guys get up and make good decisions, right? Keith and Johnny, we struggle with decisions every single day. So, we struggle with sugar. We struggle with bad foods. We struggle sometimes getting in front of the fridge or the pantry, making bad decisions. So we're like, hey, if we can be the voice of reason for all these men out there and helping guys think about positive things, that's the reason of our show here. And then Adam Howard, I miss those old station wagons with the wood paneling. Dude, my parents had one too, man. Maybe I saw you on a road trip rolling around in the back of the car. And yes, Benzie, I lost over 30 pounds with John's meal plan. If I hadn't done that, my results may have been extremely different. Benzie, I love what you have to say, man. Such a huge fan of yours for hanging out with us. And we got... Amy, I used to ride in the back of a Corvette. Amy, Johnny, a Corvette has 2 seats. Reinhard, I think I need to learn more about this conversation in the area for the T-top storage. Oh man, Jimmy, let's put Johnny back on stage. They're down the highway at 60 miles per hour. Yeah, good dad. And what's that here? Bendy, I eat very unhealthy. Yes, there we go. And Darren,
real quick to add something with Benzie, he said he lost 30 pounds, but he got more healthy, had more energy, and basically didn't have to be hungry to do it. So all you guys that are listening and are tired of starving yourselves and feel like shit trying to lose body fat, doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. You know what, guys? There's one thing let me wrap it up. Ask yourself this question. Do you want to lose weight or do you want to recomposition your body? And there's not a right or a wrong answer, but
or to simplify that, do you want to lose weight or do you want to lose fat?
Yes.
Because losing weight means that you drop 20 pounds, but in the mirror, you just look like a smaller version of yourself. Many times people drop, 30, 40, 50 pounds. They look in the mirror like, God damn it, I still look like shit. It's because they lost weight. Their shape didn't change. They just became smaller. You lose fat, your shape changes. then that 20 pounds you lose, you see a massive difference in the way that you look.
There you go. Darren, I love you, man. Keep bringing those comments, man. Even if they're questionable, we're not going to ban you. I love your energy, man. All right, so Keith and Johnny are going to get into it here. We're going to create some conversational content now, and this one's going to be around the big question, the great gym debate that I know a lot of men have, and this one's never going to end. But we have an expert. We have an expert who is going to answer some questions around the great gym debate. Is it heavy weights versus high reps? Which builds more muscle? Now, I've hung out with my brother long enough to know that I'm going to throw him a question. He's going to throw me a bunch more questions back. So we're going to have some fun with this, which is what's the goals? But the reality is lifting heavier weights really the key to getting bigger muscles? Or have we been getting it wrong this whole time? Today, we're going to put the age-old gym debate to bed. Heavy weights versus high reps. Which one truly builds more muscle? So John, let's start it off. When you hear me make that statement, where do you go next with that, brother?
I think it's overcomplicating things.
Good. Let's go.
Yeah. Because here's the average person
Yes.
who wants to build some muscle,
Yes.
maybe wants to get stronger,
Yes.
the two kind of go hand in hand. The first thing you got to remember is it's the consistency of lifting the weights. That's the foundation.
Okay.
And so many people get so over, they get, oh, well, I got to do it this way. I got to do it this way. I got to do it this way. And they're focused on doing it a certain way, but then they end up trading their consistency for focusing on some sort of a detail that doesn't have that big of a return. Myself,
Interesting.
I've used repetitions from, obviously I've in competition, I've maxed plenty of times.
Yes.
But to get those big maxes, I use rep ranges from, sometimes 2 or 3 all the way up to 30 or 40. So think of actually pushing yourself. Think of going, when you push yourself and you ask that muscle to perform at a high level, it has to adapt. Whether it's adapting to, say, 15 reps or it's adapting 5 reps, it still has to adapt. Now, the key is this: get your consistency down and fucking vary that rep range. Keep it simple and you will get the results you're looking for. Now, granted, if someone's coming saying, look, I want to be a world champion lifter, it's a different story. But if someone just wants to get in great shape, get strong, or get strong and maybe get in great shape is the secondary measurement, it's about the consistency, number one, and constantly keeping things changing.
Yeah. Okay. So let's continue to educate and talk about, so muscle growth, hypertrophy, right, is driven by 2 main factors: mechanical tension and metabolic stress. Both can be triggered by either heavy weights with fewer reps or lighter weights with higher reps if you're training close to failure. And then, of course, you have the option of heavy weights, more mechanical tension, great for strength and size, but a higher risk of injury. And then, of course, you got moderate weights and high reps along the way. But Johnny, you're saying that you went anywhere from 2 reps to 30 reps, depending on what you were doing. But the key, and I love that you're saying this, the key always with everything we're doing is the consistency. Don't overcomplicate.
Yeah. And on that level, so when I was talking about myself,
yes,
keep in mind, I'm an experienced lifter. I've been lifting for 40 plus years. So I wouldn't recommend people doing less than 3 to 5 reps. The risk is too high and the return is too low when you measure risk versus reward.
Oh,
one of the things that I say to people that just want to make progress.
Yeah.
It's like, and not bang them, especially when we get a little older, I should say. Obviously a 25-year-old's not going to have this issue, but when people come to me and they're in their 40s, and they ask questions about training, listen, if you can't do 10 reps by yourself, go down in weight, right? And, you see people all the time. It's like they're trying to squeeze off a couple of reps and they got three people trying to get the weights in place to do it. Well, God damn it. If you need that much assistance, maybe you should be going down a little bit.
Interesting. So John, what's your opinion on RPE? rate of perceived exertion. Is that just an overcomplication or
Dude, all of this stuff that you're putting on the table, RPE and all the other shit that you said before, I think is just confusing the shit out of people that are listening.
That's why I'm having this conversation. Exactly. So are you just leaning into somebody talking about how they feel, as well as if you can't do 10 reps, as simple as you can't do 10 reps, go down a little bit?
Well, and here's the thing, but I'm trying to make some real general blanket statements for people that will be helpful.
Yes.
And so when I say if you can't do 10 reps, it's an older person, someone that's just getting started. Right?
Yes.
Once someone's come along a little bit, then they can go down with the reps a little bit. But like when I'm programming somebody, if they've actually got a good rhythm and they've lifted before, they're going to see rep ranges from like body weight failure all the way down to say 5 reps. So a massive rep range. The change is going to be huge. The key, like, again, if we want to just keep this simple for people to make progress, is your consistency is number one, and fucking change that rep range drastically every time you go, and you'll be blown away. And then the next thing on that, we got to step out of training. You focus on eating protein first every time you eat, along with showing up to the gym and changing your rep range. Those 3 things will give you massive progress if you stick to them.
Interesting. So the real game changer in all this is effort and consistency. So what we're really talking about is it doesn't matter whether it's heavyweight or high reps. If you're showing up once a week, twice a week, and you're concerned whether high reps or heavyweight, it doesn't make a difference. The reality is you got to get after it daily.
Well, I'll tell a story about myself, right?
Yeah.
So when I was young, I was very connected to how I performed in the gym.
Okay.
So if I didn't meet a certain performance level, I was all bent out of shape, and I was, mentally not in that place where I needed to be to have to finish my workout strong. So because I didn't perform, I didn't hit that number, I was all butthurt, it would fuck up the rest of my workout. So how many of those workouts when I was young got screwed up because I didn't hit a certain number on the bench? I can't even count them. And then once I started to get how the shit really works, I'm like, okay, look, you go in there, and this is the piece of advice. Don't focus on the numbers because you don't have control of that.
Yes.
Focus on your effort.
Yes.
Maybe the numbers don't reflect that you're making progress, but you put in a good effort, that progress will show up. It's maybe not, you may not have seen it today, but you'll see it very soon because you're focused on what you can control. You're not sacrificing your workout because you're all butthurt. Like as a kid, what I used to do. And remember, progress, of course, we want this, but if you look close, it's like steps up.
Yes.
Flat,
Yes.
up,
Yes.
Flat. So on this day, don't get all butthurt and wreck the rest of your workout. Just keep pushing, knowing that soon this is going to come.
Yeah. It goes back to this, right? Consistency, showing up daily. And the last one, I believe truly, Johnny, is enjoying the progress. Because it's never done. And I think that's something that I know that people who are either experienced lifters or who are trying to get after, a guy like Ryan who pops in and pops out, it's not rocket science. It's things for us to talk about, but the reality is whether it's heavy or it's high rep, you got to do it. You got to do it regularly, or else you're stressing about the wrong things.
Yeah, and I think when it comes down to it now, especially the fitness industry has overcomplicated this shit so much.
Yes,
that people, and one of the sayings that I use for myself and my my clients I coach is don't get lost in the details. You look at all these details that when it comes down to it, really don't make that much of a difference if you're putting in work and you're doing it consistently. So when you're getting focused on the details, you're really just getting distracted. And I think that's the problem. All these different, names for shit. Oh, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that. How about just go and do it and make sure it's a little different every time you do it and focus on that, because that's much easier to execute.
I think what you said, though, is the underlying magic of our show and why we're getting along and why you and our chemistry is so strong. And I say this not to offer platitudes at all, but just to state some obvious here. I made a comment to you a couple months ago about, Lane Norton was commenting on the reason the fitness industry every few months needs to have a fad or needs to have something to talk about Because true growth and true success in the gym is pretty fucking boring. There's nothing actually to talk about. You get up, you go to the gym, you eat good food, you lift weights, you go to sleep. That's it. Let's hang on that for a second and pause. And then do it again. So if that's all it is, it's hard to make money with boredom. We talk marketing, right, Johnny? So if I had to say to you, let's play a role play with me. Hey, Keith, I'm looking for the magic. Okay, Johnny, here's the magic. You're my client. Okay, John, you got to go to sleep. I want you to eat some good food, and I want you to do this lift. Okay, what else do I got to do? No, that's it. No, but what else do I got to do? No, that's actually it. No, but there's got to be some magic, man. No, Keith, Johnny, that is actually it. Fuck off and go to bed and go to the gym and do it every single day and then come back and see me. But yet everybody wants something else, right?
You know, here's the best part. It's like, hey,
tell me.
People say, you know, God, what should I take? What supplements should I take? What this, what that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me about what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll say, okay, well, I think what you need to be doing is you actually need to be putting in the work.
Yeah.
Because it's like people are looking for that thing.
Yes.
There's no thing that replaces showing up.
Yes. Dude.
And you can tell people this, but their minds are still connected to finding that button, you know, that magic button.
Bro, and Johnny, before I met you, and we both know AJ and we love AJ. Thank God for AJ, because he helped me set me on your course, which was Bilous. Yeah. There's no fucking magic buttons, because I went to him and I was looking for every answer. I was looking to find the answer that I know you got to go. I was looking to find the answer that I wanted to hear. You know how you can search long enough to find the answer that suits what you want to hear.
You just keep asking the question, hoping somebody's going to give you the answer you're looking for. But you're talking to people who know what the fuck they're talking about. That answer ain't coming.
I remember for a period of time, I'm being very vulnerable here. For the first 2 hours meeting AJ, I'd keep going, AJ, but this is like, no, just got to put the fucking work in. So finally I was like, okay, I guess the reality is this is what the reality is, right? There's no fucking magic. So whether it's, and this is how we wrap up the segment, whether it's high rep or heavyweight, if you do it once a week, it doesn't fucking matter. Whether it's whole milk or dairy milk or oat milk, whether you just do it once a week, it doesn't fucking matter. It's about being consistent and boring and just living a life of the loop, Jon Andersen. A lot of fun.
And you know that whole term boring, just for everybody, let's just touch that real quick.
Yes.
So boring actually becomes really fucking exciting.
Yeah.
Once you've done it enough, or you've separated yourself from the people who don't do it enough that still feel it's boring. Because once you do this boring shit enough, and it's not as long as most people think, you create a little bit of consistency, you have progress. It's much easier to want to keep going because progress creates that motivation. And then people are looking at you going, how do you do that? Well, I just got through that initial phase that most people call boring.
I flipped boring into gratitude. I was at a walk with my dogs last night, and I caught myself for a few seconds wandering, going, oh man, it'd be fun if I was on vacation doing something. And I thought to myself, no, because when I'm doing that, I'm actually missing what I'm doing right now. I love walking my dogs. I love hanging out with I love it. But then sometimes your mind goes, geez, it would be fun if I was doing this right now. And then I take myself to that moment going, okay, but it's a lot of effort to that. I'm going to miss the moment. I'm going to miss this boring moment that many would think of. You know what I'm getting at? Which is, to me, boring is gratitude, actually.
Well, and it's that kind of when we're intentional and we're present about doing a task, we find enjoyment in it. When we're not actually really there, that fucking boring task gets even fucking worse because you're thinking about something else rather than doing well at what you're supposed to be doing.
So true. All right, man. Well, listen, this was a lot of fun today. A lot of fun conversation today. Ryan Palmer came in with us today. Jorie Janssen talked milk. We had a lot of people show up today. Johnny, I was running some ads last night, and clearly they're working, because we had a lot of people show up here today on the show. So I was out last night having ramen. True story. Quickly before you go, I was having ramen, and then I found myself staring off to the distance. I had an idea. I was like, oh. So then for the rest of the evening, I came home and I put the idea into action. Now we're seeing it come to light. So maybe that idea worked. Yeah, it was a ramen idea. But
I guess go to that ramen restaurant had a purpose after all.
I guess so. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, brother, you enjoy your day today. We'll look forward to getting after it again with you tomorrow.
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right, pal, you get out of here. Johnny's getting out of here, guys. All right. I see you guys over in the comments here. Let me see who I can address. Jimmy, we got a bunch coming in here. Javier, Really? That's not the kind of stuff we want to see in the comments there, Javier. Listen, this is a positive show. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Scott Benzie, that boring moment will just be memory one day. Exactly. I'm with you, pal, because those boring moments, it's funny because sometimes we think about that when we're hanging out doing things that, whether it's driving the kids around or doing parental activities, you're like, oh, this is kind of boring or lame. No, might not be around one day, right? So it's all about perspective. Javier Nunez, if you need some help, send me a text. I'm glad to help you out. You can find me on LinkedIn, and we'll have a chat about your lost computer there. Let's see here. With Darren commenting on Jorie. What else we got here, Jimmy? I'm seeing your comments here, Jimmy. There we go. Yeah, excellent. All right, well, listen, guys, you're here at Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, coming up to the bottom of the second hour here, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed. We go live at 8 o'clock Eastern time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And, of course, after the show, we pop it over into the podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. And you can find... Woo, baby. You can find all the behind-the-scenes stuff over on our Substack. And today we kicked off the show with the main topic here today about the news. And I am going to get into it. Ramen power, the chicken gave you the creativity. It's true, Adam. Yeah, it must have been the real chicken. And Javier, send me a text over on LinkedIn. I'll do what I can do to help you. And but don't make any crazy decisions today. That would not be a wise thing to do. Jimmy, here's what we're gonna do, Jim. I'm going to do a deep dive segment on how I quit the news, and then we're gonna get into our community corner. We're gonna get to our community corner. All right, I see John Espitia is logging in here, but Jimmy, I'm gonna do the deep dive before we keep rocking and rolling over here. Guys, there was a time when the first thing I would do every morning was turn on the news. Yep. Wasn't even drinking coffee at the time. Just turn the news on, right? And I would absorb every headline, flip channels and read news and just absorb. And I got to say that during the pandemic, I made some changes. And I grew up thinking that staying informed meant being responsible and engaged, but then something shifted along the way. Over time, I noticed that instead of feeling empowered and connected, I was becoming anxious, reactive, and honestly pretty pessimistic about the world. And it's hard not to look at the news today and feel the same way, frankly, right? Someone called it the fake news, the Western news, the corporate news, the packaged news. But it's the constant stream of, Jimmy, negativity, controversy, and sensationalism was quietly but profoundly impacting my mindset and, frankly, my daily energy. So one day, I decided to stop. Yep, cold turkey. No more news. Modified my news consumption. Stopped leaning into some of the brands that I grew up with and started to make some different choices. And at first it was challenging. I felt somewhat disconnected, worried that I'd miss something critical. But what I did is I frankly expanded my choices and started opening my views to other sources of news. And then soon something remarkable happened. The mornings became much more clear. The thoughts that I had in my head became clearer. I started noticing the beauty and the possibility around me again, the positivity of me around the world. Rather than focusing on problems, and here's the key point, boys. Rather than focusing on problems I couldn't solve that were happening in these social feeds or on the news or in the news that was made or manufactured or created by somebody else. True story. So here's what I learned. You got to focus on what you can control. One of the reasons for the show, positive messages, positive entertainment, positive conversation. Do we talk about tariffs? We talk about politics. Do we talk about that kind of bullshit from time to time? Sure. But laced back into the fun, the positivity of things. When I let go of things that are beyond my influence, when I let go of those things, when I said stop worrying about things that I can't control, I was able to direct my energy towards areas of my life where I could truly make a difference. And I know that you can make a difference. Your family, your business, your community. Because guys, listen, we see how the algorithms work. Negativity thrives on attention. By consciously choosing what I consumed, I starved the anxiety and I fed optimism, creativity, and gratitude. Being informed doesn't require constant updates. Sure, it helps. And if you're in the business of being informed, it's absolutely helpful. But I discovered ways to stay connected to what matters without drowning in the noise, focusing on the signal instead of the noise. Today, I got to be honest, guys, I feel much more happier, more creative, more energized. And listen, I'm not advocating for ignorance. Far from it. What I'm advocating for is don't stick your head in a silo and consume one kind of news. If all you're consuming is Fox, well, you're missing out on what's happening over there. If all you're consuming is CNN, you're missing out on what's happening over there. If you're going to consume the news, consume all of it. Don't just consume some of it. Choose carefully what enters your mind because it's going to shape your reality. So I ask you, have you ever considered unplugging from the news cycle? How would your life change if you protected your mindset with the same care that you protect your health and relationships? Because guys, the news is everywhere. It is seconds away from frying your brain with negative content. So ask yourself, what are you reading? Where are you getting it from? Where are you making your choices? Maybe it's the invitation to join the show with us in the morning and get some positive news to start your day. So there you go, guys. Stop watching the news. And I got to be honest with you, I've never been happier. And there's our deep dive segment for Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jimmy, I'm getting to the our next segment here on the show. We got somebody coming up here in a quick second. Where is it? Right here. We get somebody joining us here this morning. There it is here. Today's guest didn't survive cancer twice and a stroke. He turned adversity into his greatest marketing lesson. Buckle up, guys. We got somebody joining us here in a quick second because the conversation coming up right now might change how you view your struggles together. We're going to meet John Espitia, and we're going to get into our creator spotlight community corner conversation as well. So, Jimmy, let's bring up Johnny. Johnny!
Hello, Keith. How are you?
Do we have your audio sorted today?
Yeah, I guess.
There he is. We got it working today, brother. We got it working. How are you, buddy? How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for the introduction. I'm really good right now. But still recovering some part of my life, but with positivity and good energy, I'm going to be more than okay. Yeah.
So we're joined today by marketing powerhouse John Espitia. He's a CMO, fractional growth wizard, and self-professed Basset Hound father. And I got to be honest, one of the things I love about him, because I'm a dog father too, but beyond crushing it for startups and enterprise with viral campaigns and data-driven funnels, John has also, and this is an inspiring conversation, guys, so we're going to keep it positive here. John's also conquered some very personal storms that would sink many human beings, frankly. Cancer, check. Stroke, yep, been there too. Loss of his best friend, and he's actually been there as well. John's journey would sink many of us, but today he's here to talk to us and share some of the biggest challenges that he has had in his life. We celebrated John in our Community Corner Creator Spotlight a few weeks back, and maybe give us some tips and tricks to unlock the hidden strength within our own struggles through the words of a man who's gone through it himself. John.
Yes, definitely. I don't know what you want to know. I mean, I just, when I get the first cancer, because I got like 2 cancer at the same time, that is hard.
Yes.
When I get the first one, and I was like, wow, why me? And it's why now? I'm still young. It's like, and I was like, I'm on my top of my career, so I was like, so I have to step down and focus on that. And I will say, okay, it's gonna be one, and I think I get it. Blah blah blah. 30 days later, I got the second one.
Oh man,
which is heartbreaking. It's like, what's going on in my life? It's like, yeah, I was like in shock and the doctor has to reevaluate and everything, because now I was like 2 type of cancer that I have to fight for. And it says the doctor, the good thing is you're young, and I think you have great chance to survive, but it's gonna be tough. And I say, okay. I didn't know how tough it was. I didn't have no idea. When you face those kind of challenge, you have no idea what you're going through. And that was really tough. And then they put a lot of chemotherapy, a lot of treatments, and then because it was too hard, it was exploding my arteries in my head, and that's what I get the stroke. And then I said, okay, this is it. This is the end of me on my 30th years old, and then, like, this is gonna be the end of me, and I don't know, like, if I can survive that. And likely, I believe in God, of course, and I said, likely, God look at after me, and I didn't lose anything, like no emotion part, no memory. So it's like the doctor was impressed about what I'm going through, and we have to make a pause for a while to record my brain and all stuff, and do a treatment, and then we take it back again, the treatment until the end. On this April 7, I celebrated my 2 years cancer free, which was amazing. But I couldn't even celebrate it like openly happy because once again the life hit me back, and that was when I lost one of my dog was my service dog, and it's kind of hard when you lost uh, a companion like an animal, and when you're attached. And then 2 months later, I lost my dad for a fulminant heart attack. It was like a month ago now. And it was my partner. And once again, it's like, again. So it just hitting. I mean, I don't know why. It says that when the life hit harder, hit it 3 times. I had it 3 times before, like 2 cancer and then a stroke, and now I get another hit. But yeah, so that's what I'm working with some clients, and then I feel that's I made my post to LinkedIn, and it says about is it okay not to be okay? Because for a marketer myself and chief marketer officer, I use my emotions, I use my intelligence to create campaigns, advertising and all stuff. But for the few weeks ago, I feel lost. I made a post because I remember I'm waking up every day 5:30 a.m. and I do my workout. I do my personal workout, and then I do my work from my clients. But and that day I feel completely lost. Like um I went to therapy because I feel like all my emotions were shutting down, and it's normal when my therapist says when you suffer so many losses in short time, like your brain shutting down your emotion, and say, I'm scared because I use my emotions for work. And yeah, so and it's like I feel lost. I made that post. It was viral. I never expected to go that viral. I just want to show what it was here, because I feel like my brain was blank and I feel nothing. It's like I couldn't even cry at my dad's funeral because my emotion was shutting down. And it's like I want to cry and I'm still working on it, but like I can't believe that's gonna happen. Oh, that is happening. So yeah, somehow I just trying to keep my routine. I always trying to keep positive, and my routine. Continue waking up every day 5:30 a.m. Doesn't matter if it's Sunday or Saturday. I just keep going, and sometimes I feel lost, Keith. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, and it's like, but I'm doing it anyway. It's like creating posts and creating my work, but sometimes I feel lost. And then I realize it's okay to be lost because but I like the amount of support I receive from LinkedIn of people like you and many others, incredible people who just come to talk to me and they say, at least just give me a little clarity because sometimes you feel like I don't know. This is it. There's like too many losses, too many battles, too many, you know, step of stun in the road, and too many bumps in the road. And so, like, I don't know if I'm doing okay. I don't know if you start doubting yourself, and and then, but there's a light on the end of the tunnel, and then you just continue going. Sometimes you have to walk through the darkness and you have no idea, but you just I learned that you have to keep going no matter what. You don't see the path, but just keep going. Keep a little faith, and yeah, and now I feel like more lighter, more relaxed, and I see the end of the tunnel finally. And yeah, that's I keep going, but that's my experience. I'll encourage others, and when the life happen, and it's something for a reason. I believe in God, so I think God had different plans.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's
John, where have you found the courage to I'm wondering if I'm wondering if the courage you have found is laced within the routine that you've built within your life.
yeah.
So that you know that when you get up the next morning, as difficult as it is, you still have these non-negotiables that you have to get through the day. Would that be fair for me to make an assumption? Because the courage you have creates I have much admiration for the courage that you have. I don't know how I could have gotten through what you have been able to get through, except other than knowing that I have a daily routine that I have to get through every single day to keep my mental sanity. Was that your trick?
Yes, definitely. I'm very organized guy. I'm just trying to, and I keep my routine. Even though I stepped down for 3 days and I couldn't, stay in my bed and like, but then I forced myself, keep going your routine, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. Wake up and go. I do CrossFit every day in the morning, so doing CrossFit and then taking my bike, and because I live in Miami Beach, so it's a beautiful place. So I take Miami and my bike to go through a beach walk,
Yeah.
running like with my bike like 10 miles. But it was my anchor because I was biking, fast as I can and process this in my head. And and then I finally couldn't cry. Even I cried and I was sweating, but I went crying. And it's like, this is good. That was my therapy. So and I just keep on doing every day, every day, every day, no matter what. And this every day, every day. And I didn't find joy. Even I have business and still have people surround me, but I didn't find that joy. Like, oh, because you miss it. I mean, losing a father, it's huge.
Oh,
And he was my hero.
yeah. Yeah. And then suck it with your basset hound.
Yeah. And now, well, my like I have it here on the ashes with me.
Yeah.
So she's still with me.
I had I had an English bully that I lost a few years back, and when I saw your post on LinkedIn, it brought back a lot of warm memories for me.
Yeah.
And which made me want to lean in to have a conversation with you, which I thought we could have we can have that here today. But John, here's what I'd like to do, my friend. I'm thoroughly enjoying our conversation, thoroughly enjoying giving you a space to speak.
Yes.
I know a couple weeks back we celebrated you in the Creative Spotlight, the Community Corner, and it's this point in the show here where we have a couple other creators that I want to throw on stage to celebrate. And if you join me, I'd love to introduce Business Athlete Nation to a couple people that we're going to celebrate here today. Can we do that?
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, I'm open. I just go back again to networking because I want to keep my mind more busy. It's like that's me. When I have this kind of battle, I'm trying to keep my mental health balanced, and it just I force myself. People said, "Why you do that? Why you?" I can't. I'm not that guy who can stop.
Yes.
When the life is harder, I just keep moving even more. So I go every single networking event and just going running. It's because movement for me is like therapy. So that's what I'm doing. And then trying to get more business. So I can do more business.
We talk about it all the time, pal. Movement creates momentum, right? Because it does.
Yes.
Right. When you get moving, and especially when we're in a tough space mentally or emotionally, it's fine. And that's why I asked you, and I believe you concurred with me that the secret that you have leaned on to get through much of the trauma that you have been dealing with for the last number of months has been the foundation of your daily routine. which then coincides with creating movement for you, which then coincides with creating momentum. Am I correct? Right? Because
Yes.
you don't have the routine, doesn't give you the opportunity to create some movement, which doesn't give you the opportunity to create momentum. Everything the opposite of that is sitting back depressed and crying and whining and not moving forward. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but the fact is your routine naturally just unlocks this. Okay, I got to get moving. Am I correct?
Correct. I mean, when you create, I think that's most important for every single person that hearing this conversation is create a routine
Yes.
and do it and stick with that, because when life hurt harder and you keep going, and this is the good things, to survive or scope of this kind of challenge. And listen, I lost my dad like this Sunday is he died on March 20th.
Yes.
And it was this Sunday was maybe April 20th, and it's kind of like not even a month, but it kept me afloat and then just keep going and keep going. And I miss him, of course, every day, but it kept me like my mental health is most important right now.
Yeah.
Not have breakdowns. Yeah.
I get you. Well, listen, Lucas, I see you in the comments. Thanks for joining the show. You're on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends with my friend John Espitia this morning. We're talking the marketing CMO. We're talking about, well, to be frank, we're talking real life.
Real life.
We're not fucking coloring nothing here. We're talking real life. We're talking stroke. We're talking cancer. We're talking losing fathers. We're talking losing dogs. And we're talking, it's all happened to one guy here. So yeah, I my tone might be making jest of it, but I think John doesn't mind, because the fact of the reality is, if some of you guys right now are fucking sitting in your corner wallowing, don't wallow. Get up, get moving. Why?
Yeah.
This guy does, right? This guy has lost his father. He's lost his best friend. He's beat cancer and he's beat a stroke. So if there's if you need any inspiration to get your day going, guys, you need to meet John Espitia. You absolutely need to meet him, because he will give you the energy, and he'll give you the one secret to get through shit. It's get up, get moving, create momentum. So, John, I'm going to create some momentum for you, pal. I'm going to introduce you to two people right now. We're going to get into your network. We're going to get into your network, and we're going to keep the show going, okay? Because here's how it goes. The internet is full. Jimmy, we're getting to it, brother. The internet's full of beautiful things that don't feel real. John, photos too perfect, words too polished, moments too curated, too much gloss. As a matter of fact, there's no gloss with John. You go check out John's his LinkedIn profile. He's putting out real shit, man, real vulnerable content. Stuff that you don't find on the corporate LinkedIn of yesterday. No. You find real life stories from guys like John. Guys like the person we're going to share with you guys right now to celebrate. Because there's a few creators out there chasing something different like John. A man hikes into the southern Appalachians alone. He carries a camera, sleeps under the stars, wakes up with the fog. Not to go viral, Johnny, but to feel something. That man this morning who we're going to introduce you to, Jimmy, that man we're introducing you to is Eric Hogan. Yeah, he's a former SWAT leader. Now he's capturing wilderness and writing field notes. A raw, reflective Substack rooted in philosophy, solitude, and the search for what's real. Eric's not just documenting landscapes. Nope, not at all. Nope. He's wrestling with what means to be human in an age of artificial everything. And that matters. Yeah, because when the world feels synthetic, creators like Eric bring us back to something true. I invite you, follow his work, support the mission, and go check out Eric Hogan and his Substack Field Notes, a raw and reflective piece on philosophy, solitude, and the search for what is real. And hey, Eric, here's how it works, my friend. We'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to invite you in the show, just like we have John right now, so you can celebrate somebody and pay it forward in our Community Corner Creator Spotlight, which happens every single day at 9:30 here Eastern Time on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. So there we go, Johnny. There's Eric Hogan, somebody on the Substack side of things. Hey, John, are you on Substack, by the way?
And where?
Are you on Substack, the Substack platform?
No. I just no.
I would invite.
I would love to. Yeah.
I would invite you to check it out. Great platform. It's you own the database. You're not adding followers to somebody else's database. You're owning the followers. It's a great platform for creators like yourself. I could not encourage you enough to go check out Substack. But we're going to pivot now to celebrate somebody on the LinkedIn platform. So now I'm going to introduce you to somebody too. So we got Eric Hogan for you. Now we got a second person here. And this one here is, you ever try to do everything right? and you still feel off. You eat clean, you exercise, you push hard, you pull, but your energy crashes. Your mind fogs. You're running on empty and you don't know why. Most people will blame themselves. John, there was one guy who didn't. He weighed 250 pounds, 34% body fat, low energy, no direction. Then he lost 80 pounds, dropped to 6% body fat, and rewired everything he knew about health. His name, Jimmy, we're going to introduce him. His name is Ben Azadi. What's shaking, Ben? Yeah, he's a best-selling author. Of course you're a best-selling author, Ben. You wouldn't put up there you're not a best-selling author. You're a podcast host, and he's there's my lisp. He's the podcast host, and he's the founder of Keto Camp. Ben teaches people how to unlock their metabolism by focusing on the real drivers, hormones, gut health, and cellular healing. No calorie counting, no starvation, no suffering, just smart, science-backed strategies that actually work. Now, Ben's not out here selling hacks. No, go to another show for a hack. He's rebuilding energy, clarity, and momentum from the inside out. I invite you to check out his work, reclaim your energy, and go and introduce yourself to Ben Azadi and tell him that Uncle Keith and John Espitia sent you. Ben, here's how it works, my friend. We've celebrated you this morning. We would love to have you on the show to celebrate somebody in your world as part of the Community Corner Creator Spotlight right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Boom, boom, boom. That's it.
That's it.
John, where are you joining? Are you in Miami? Where are you joining me from today, brother?
Miami Beach, Florida.
Yeah, you always been down there in Florida and in Miami Beach?
Yeah. For a while, yeah. I
Nice.
love here.
Yeah.
The weather, fishes is so beautiful. Yeah. It's like living in a paradise every day.
Yeah. What do you got on the agenda today, brother? What's keeping you busy today on John Espitia's board?
I also, serve on the board of the sister city on the city hall in Miami Beach. That's my community work. I promoted Miami Beach International. So I have a lot of business, more diplomatic event. That's also I do. Connect with ambassadors and consuls to bring business to Miami Beach. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to keep myself now busy doing another working. I have my whole agenda today busy. I'm trying to keep, going and talking. I have my team who is actually supporting me because I don't want to be here at home working, I work from home, but I don't want to be here. So I want to go out, meet new people.
Yeah.
And spread the positivity with them. And now my team is taking care of all the jobs, so I cannot be home. So I just go. Yeah. So that's my strategy right now. Keep out myself.
I love it. John, one last question to wrap up with you, brother. If you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice before facing your toughest battles that you've gone through, now that you know what you've known, what would that advice be, John?
Wow.
Because, John, you've gone through more shit than most humans will ever go through their entire life.
Exactly.
So what you're going to offer right now, somebody's going to hang on to. And Adam Holroyd, I'm with you, man. Keep going with the positivity. And Jesus Crust, is this a dentist podcast? No, I don't have a dentist, as you can tell by my teeth. So yeah, this is not a dentist podcast. And Mackenzie, yeah, I am Keanu Reeves in disguise. But John, if you could go back, what's that one piece of advice?
I would just say always keep positive.
Yeah.
And keep going. And because that I would think that keep positive, keep going. That's what I always encourage myself. Like, but I never faced so many battles like now. I'm just gonna turn 35 now. It's like, and I just keep going and like, okay. And that's what my thing, keep going and keep positive no matter what. Because sometimes I know when people face a challenge, I always say, I know it's hard to walk through the darkness. You have no hope, but you just keep going because there is a hope. There is in the end, there is a reward, but just keep going. And yeah, that's my would be my advice, because I have to learn that I knew it before, but I never experienced like doing it actually. And that's was my strategy. I just keep going, and I'm here, and I'm still here. The
I,
doctor is amazing. I'm impressed about me on my case. It was my case. It was like major doctors came to talk to me about my case, and how I survived, how I'm alive and intact. No brain issues, nothing. And it's like, I don't know, just keep myself positive, visualize myself what I want to be, and keep going. And here I am. Yeah.
I think so. Thank you, John. I think the other piece of advice that if I can offer you is something you've taught me and reminded me, is just the constant reminder of that daily non-negotiable routine to help you get through the moments where you need to create momentum.
Mhm.
Because my dad's going to die one day. My dog's going to die one day. There's going to be a day where I'm faced with very difficult news. And what I've learned from you is the foundation of your non-negotiables, getting up, getting moving, has been the key for you to create that momentum to get to the next day. So what I'm hearing from you is when you have a tough day, you know that if you can get through today, tomorrow you're going to do it again. It might be better. But the reality is you don't have to think about what you're doing tomorrow to put yourself into the space.
No.
You know that you're going to get up, you're going to get moving. And that's what I love about your message. And I think that's the key message here, is that the foundation of our daily routine gets us through so much more that sometimes we don't even realize. Because when your dad died, or when your dog passed, or when you had the stroke or cancer, if you're not rooted in the foundations of your routine, you're probably lost.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true, because routine is keep you busy, and busy is good. It's like you have to protect, no matter what, your mental health first of all.
Yes.
And if you stop and cry and not doing anything, your brain going spiral and creating more drama in yourself, and it will put you down. And then that's like, if you be busy, it's hard. I know it's hard to go out and smile when your heart broke, your heart and your entire life is a mess. But you're just doing it. And then, like you said, I love you said, because every day it feels different. Now I've been like a month processing. Now I feel lighter, better, and keep going.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Listen, we are going to wrap it up, my friend. Time to get out of here. We got another show coming up here in 2 hours. I got Live and Live with Keith Bilous. Joining me is Jesse Levy. I got Jesse Levy joining me here. We're talking longevity, coming Live and Live, special 1 hour presentation coming up later on in the day here. But John, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming on the show with me today. I appreciate you making the effort, and I appreciate you sharing your vulnerability and your journey with us. And let's stay in touch. Maybe we'll get you back one day, have some further conversation with the rest of the guys. And I enjoy the support you're giving me and my show over on LinkedIn and all the platforms. And I just want to say that you've been in the lab with us. You're an alumni. You're more than welcome to come back and hang out with us. I love the positive energy you bring, and just know that you got a bunch of friends and brothers over here who are thinking about you and who are supporting you along the way as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
It's a great honor.
Thank you. And I think we're grabbing coffee a little bit later today as well, right?
Yeah.
A few minutes. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. I look forward to that. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Johnny, you take care. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, we're going to walk Johnny out of the show. We're going to wrap it up. Good morning, everybody in the comments. Mackenzie, what are you humming about? Yes, dude, get out of your routine once for a month, but it's going to be hell getting back into it, and you're going to regret it. You're so true. So true, Mackenzie. Yes. Just got to keep going, man. TQ, it's the hat. Thank you. I'm a hat guy. Love my hats. Bell, W. John. Yeah, that's it. And Joey C. and Chasav. Dudes. Yeah, love those comments. Top or bottom? I'm in the middle. I'm a middle kind of guy. I'm like the Oreo. I'm like the white icing in the middle of the two black wafers. Jimmy, let's get out of here. Let's go to work because we got to come back to work in a couple hours. Should we get the hell out of here, Jimmy? What do you think? I'm looking for permission from my boss. I'm just waiting. Oh, let's go. All right, well, listen. On behalf of Jon Andersen, See Marty Fit, Ryan Palmieri, and everybody in the comments today, I'm your host, Keith Bilous, and we're going to get out of here, and you're going to get this sound. No, we're going to get, hold on a second here. There's the sound effect. Mackenzie, you're a girl. Awesome. No, we are a live show for men, but everybody is welcome. So the fact that you're hanging out with us here today, I'm appreciative, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, the only morning show for men and Mackenzie and women. And listen, I don't care what sex you are. I don't care what gender you are, frankly. I just need to draw a line in the sand of who we're mostly speaking to. We're mostly speaking to men. However, my wife listens to the show. My mom listens to the show. A bunch of girls listen to the show. So all the girls are welcome. Mornings at Alive with Keith and Friends, 8 o'clock Eastern time, live right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, 8 o'clock. Yes, that's what I said. And then all of our content is spread across everywhere else. I've talked enough. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you guys in a couple hours for Live in the Lab with Jesse Levy. Jimmy, get me out of here, brother.